Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what common foods in your country are considered delicacies by foreigners? We had some Japanese exchange students at our university in the US, and when they saw the cubed melon on the salad bar, the standard watermelon /cantaloupe honeydew mix, they thought we were living like royalty. Apparently melon is a really expensive, special occasion food over there. I heard that the first melons in Japan are sold for thousands of dollars, and then the price settles at about $50-$60. Yup, I saw a cantaloupe go for like $10,000 because of how perfect it looked or something. I don't know, but they take some of that fruit serious. I worked for a Chinese company in Ecuador and used to live among Chinese employees. They would have watermelon as dessert after lunch literally every day. That's related but always seemed interesting to me. From Hong Kong we like fruit for dessert, among other things. A lot of restaurants will give you free oranges or melon after the table's cleared. Fancy restaurants might do fancy fruit platters. Fancy Japanese restaurants will have the option of a slice of extremely expensive Japanese melon. Hawaii has somehow turned spam into a sought-after food, especially by visitors from Japan. I'm Filipino, and I grew up on spam and rice. When I went to Hawaii, I hadn't ate it in so long, I basically sat in the hot sun eating spam and rice for 2 weeks straight. Breakfast only. I've only ever met 2 types of Pacific Islanders in my life. 1. Eats spam and rice all the time. Is absolutely shredded, a pure dose of a man/woman. 2. Eats spam and rice all the time. Got briefly injured at some point in the past and stopped being able to exercise every day and is now massive. Is still somehow 50 times stronger than me. It was supposed to be caviar, but now it's also unaffordable for us. Cries in Russian. I used to eat caviar all the time as a cheap snack growing up moderately poor, Romanian. I was stunned to find out it's a delicacy. My wife ate herring roe as a kid. Now it's a delicacy. I was thinking caviar in Iran, but I don't know if it's true still. A lot of sturgeon species in Eurasia are endangered from overfishing and habitat destruction. A good baguette. I've seen American tourists walk out of a bakery with like 12 of them. Slow down, dude, they are made all day long, you don't need that many. It's just the guy from the math problems. You don't need that many. We're American. We must have 1 kilogram of carbs every 8 hours or we get kicked out of the country. 1 kilogram. He's an imposter. We must have 1 kilogram of carbs every 8 hours or we get kicked out of the country. Unless you let everyone know you're doing keto. Then you need to eat a stick of Askreddit every day or you get kicked out. Avocados here in Mexico, pretty common and cheap. Yep, my wife's from Mexico and every time we go to the grocery store here in the US she comments on how ridiculously expensive avocados here. I spent 3 months in your wonderful country 10 years ago and I still am disappointed when I eat an avocado or a mango here. It's just not like the ones in Mexico. I think that it's mainly due to our climate, maybe it's good for the fruits. Yay, I always thought papaya was disgusting and tasted like piss warm beer until I ate one in Mexico. I can never get that real taste out of my mind. Water, our tap water is perfect and no local ever buys bottled, Iceland. Edit. A lot of people are mentioning the sulfur smell of the hot water, and that depends on the area. For example, where I live the hot water comes directly from a nearby hot spring area, so naturally it's gonna have a smell. Locals don't smell it though. For drinking water you just need to run the tap for a bit, that will get any hot water out of the pipes and bring you spring water. Thanks for the upvotes etc. Damn, in Canada and I'm pretty sure elsewhere too, Coca-Cola and Pepsi and certainly Nestle bottle the tap water and sell them for $, and lot of idiots buy the 24 bottle crate for $, when on the bottle it's written tap water from. I hate Daysel and others. Yep, it's definitely sold here too, but for some reason the bottles all say Icelandic spring / glacial water in English and not Icelandic. Gotta squeeze every penny out of the tourists. Forest berries perhaps. I live in Finland. We have a lot of forests, so lot of berries such as blueberries and lingonberries. Everyman's rights mean that you can just go and pick as much as you can find. It's kinda one of those things where if you live near any forested area, and are willing to spend time there come late summer, you'll probably have enough to last until next year in your freezer. We have so much berries that people from poorer countries, Thailand is a common one for some reason, are hired to pick them up, because doing berry picking enough to actually profit monetarily is heavy work, and apparently the pay isn't worth it for most Finns. At the same time, forest berries are considered a superfood around the world, very healthy and trendy. Don't know about actual delicacy status, but definitely a difference in how we think about them. I would add mushrooms for Finland. Especially porcii, herkutatai, chanterelles, catarelli, and C2biformis, sapillovavaro, are incredible food mushrooms which are sought after. For example, in Italy, we can just go pick them in the forest thanks to our Joachimia hericius, every man's right, which allows anyone to pick mushrooms and berries etc. on public land such as state-owned forests. Wait, is foraging not allowed in some countries? I live in Scotland and wouldn't think twice about mushroom picking in a random bit of woodland. Lingonberries and cloudberries are berries that I love that you can't get outside of Scandinavia. Literally the only place you can get them is the IKEA Food Mart. Edit because I woke up to 100 Americans telling me I was wrong and their local store /IHOP sells them. I don't live in America. It would be easier for me to go to Finland for them. Both also grow in northern North America actually. In Newfoundland, for example, both are abundant. There they are colloquially known as partridge berry and bakeapple, respectively. Stroopwafel. Those things are bourbon caramel-laced cocaine discs. I literally have banned myself from buying them, because I've cleared the shelf at the store, only to eat them all in a week like a fatty. Other people have to buy them for me, because they'll buy them in moderation. I literally gave up cocaine, only to fall into an addiction for stroopwafels, or as I call them, devil discs. Per second. Literally had pre-packaged ones on an airplane and they were still good. That's the first place I ever had one. It was so insanely good I looked them up. Finally got a pack at Costco. It was even better. Now I have to get a fresh one. You haven't had stroopwafel until you've bought one freshly pressed from a street vendor, with the syrup still warm and runny. Good French pastries and stuff like croissant and pain au chocolat, we call them viennoiserie in French, no idea if there is a specific word for it in English. Obviously in France they are super easy to find in any bakery and they are cheaper. It's so common that honestly not a lot of people do go buy some croissants every day. Macarons are also relatively easy to find, usually they are made in special shops but some bakery do make them. Edit, oh, and if you go to France or go to a good French bakery in your country, try a Paris British Englishist. You will not regret it. Pain au chocolat is so tasty. I did not know they were called viennoiserie. They are pretty uncommon in the US, at least in my region. I only know of one store that carries them. These are ones that are meant to be stored for a bit, so I imagine a fresh one would be even better. I think what makes a food a delicacy is how accessible something is. If it's hard to get, either it's not very common or too expensive to be a regular item for the average person. Edit, well. I did not expect this post to blow up like it did. A lot of you are suggesting places like Safeway, Publix, and Trader Joe's. Unfortunately, I don't have these stores where I live. I live in a more rural part of the upper Midwest. I could go check out a Starbucks though. As someone who doesn't drink coffee, I'm never there and had no idea they carried them. After reading some of these posts it occurs to me that I have been looking in the wrong places. I might have go out tomorrow and see if I can track one down. I'm sorry, I just want to correct you that viennoiseries is a blanket term for French-style pastries, not a direct translation of pain au chocolat. Pain au chocolat or chocolate, Quebec French, is the French term for it. An Indian prepared bhaji on MasterChef Australia. Bhaji is available at every 5 blocks or so. The whole recipe is cut onion / potato, coat it with gram flour and spice and fry. Indians who saw that surely laughed. In South Indian states it is called bhaji. You can make bhaji in a hostel room. Why not in a friendly room? Man, it's good shit, MasterChef or not. Especially if it's done by a neighborhood mom / grandma. Once encountered an NHS nurse bake sale and the moms there had brought their homemade samosas and bhaji, and it utterly spoiled me from having the stuff from anywhere else. Those ladies made the hell out of their bhaji and you could tell they had slow cooked the onions to make them sweet and savory. Wurst or cariola sausage, protected by EU for being Slovenian speciality that can only be made here but loved and eaten by millions of Germans and Austrians. Edit, it's the name that can't be used if made outside of Slovenia and sold commercially, not the actual sausage. It took me way too long to recognize this food because I know it as case crier, d. Tams. My brother played the meanest joke ever by bringing these home from Australia. Can't find anything like it in NY. When we were in Illinois we found them at Target of all places. My brother went to Australia and brought back Tim Tams. They were the greatest thing ever. He taught me how to nibble off both ends, and use it as a super white straw in a glass of milk to make the milk all chocolatey. Then you eat the Tim Tam and it's a soft gooey chocolatey bit of heaven. I love it. The old Tim Tam slam. Nice. I was going to post I don't think we have anything in AUS that others would consider a delicacy. Thanks for telling me I was wrong. $58 NZD from Amazon for 4 packs. Wow. They are only like 3 to 4 NZD locally. If you have a Trader Joe's near you, in the US, they have something very similar to this that they just started carrying. They are called Aussie-style chocolate creme sandwich cookies coated in chocolate. Good luck finding them though. That sounds like the kind of thing Trader Joe's would do. Mayo.